Garnett Cadigan has lived in some dangerous cities.
I grew up in Kingston, then lived in New Orleans, then lived in New York City.
But he says this was the first time he felt so unsafe in his own home that he felt the need to leave.
I fled. I ran away the day before. I thought it was best, given my complexion, given my country of origin, that I was not the kind of person that people come in to be a fan of. And then especially hearing that they were coming well armed.
He's talking about the Ku Klux Klan and other white supremacist groups. It was nearly 2 weeks ago when those groups descended upon the very street Garnett walks with his friends.
And I felt almost as if I had walked through a wormhole, like a portal that took me back to the 1920s, in which I heard that people were coming to town to do horrid things and I needed to leave.
So Garnett left for an entire week. The violent rally the nation witnessed wasn't the town's first brush with hate this summer.
Things shifted somewhat since May. There were people with torches surrounding the monument and making chants which were resonant of an earlier, more horrid time, Nazi chants of blood and soil. And it felt that every month there was some signal event. In June there was an initiation for Proud Boys, which is a white supremacist group. Then in July there was the Ku Klux Klan protest, and then there was word of this event happening in August.
Garnett stayed in Charlottesville during those events, but this time he knew it was different. And he says coming back feels different too.
Now to come back and see in a whole half block filled with flowers and a memorial, and to have something that was like a playground become a battleground, and that's now a memorial ground. So there's a kind of somberness.
For 2 decades, this Jamaican-American tells me people have looked past his accent and embraced him as one of their own. But he says over the last several months, the conversation has shifted drastically.
To see behavior and to hear rhetoric, which is reinforcing a pernicious view that I don't belong because I'm not from here, it certainly stings with a special force.
Garnett believes the American message is simple.
It's not America for you and your crew or you and your friends. It's the United States of America. It has to be with a vision that entertains pluralism, that entertains people coexisting.
And while he doesn't know how the fabric of the United States can be sewn back together, he's surely working to thread the needle.
And I don't have answers just yet. At the very least, I know that it involves listening. And at the very least, it involves coming to terms with the recognition that we all will have to share the space.